Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into Why the Rich Are Getting Richer by Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah.
This book,
Is that a good one?
it's a total eye-opener when it comes to understanding how wealth is built, especially in today's world,
Yeah,
It really has the potential to shift your entire perspective on money.
it really does.
And speaking of setting yourself up for success,
Okay.
if you are looking for that extra boost of motivation, I highly recommend checking out affirmifyjourney.com.
Oh, nice.
They offer these amazing personalized zodiac affirmations that could really set your day on the right track.
That's awesome.
Oh,
All right, so back to Kiyosaki.
you're back to Kiyosaki.
One of the first things he tackles is this idea that the world is changing at an incredible pace,
Right.
especially with globalization and technology.
Yeah.
He argues that this is shaking up the job market in a major way, and not just for blue-collar jobs.
Yeah.
Even white-collar jobs that we used to think were safe are becoming vulnerable.
Because of automation?
Because of automation, exactly.
Okay, so the old playbook isn't working.
Yep.
And even those safe jobs are starting to look shaky. What does Kiyosaki suggest we do about it?
Well, he puts a huge emphasis on financial education.
Okay.
He says that the traditional education system often misses the mark when it comes to teaching us about money.
Right.
We learn about history, science, math, all of that.
All the other stuff.
Yeah, but rarely do we get a real education on how finances actually work.
It's like we're being sent out into this complex financial world without even knowing the basic language, right?
Exactly. And this is where Kiyosaki introduces one of his core concepts,
Okay.
the difference between assets and liabilities.
Ah.
You see, he argues that most people are focused on accumulating the liabilities, things that cost them money,
Okay.
like fancy cars or expensive clothes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rich are busy acquiring assets,
Right.
things that put money back into their pockets.
So it's not just about how much you earn,
Right.
but how you use that money to build wealth.
That's it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And this leads into another one of Kiyosaki's big ideas,
Sorry.
using debt strategically.
Oh,
Now, I know we're all told that debt is the enemy, something to be avoided at all costs,
right.
but Kiyosaki flips that on its head.
Really?
He argues that the rich don't shy away from debt. They actually use it to their advantage.
Wait, so he's saying debt can be a good thing?
Well,
This is where my brain starts to hurt a little.
it's definitely counterintuitive, but think of it this way.
Yep.
Kiyosaki makes a clear distinction between what he calls good debt and bad debt.
Okay.
Good debt is used to buy assets, things that will generate income or appreciate in value.
So taking out a loan to buy a rental property that generates positive cash flow, that would be considered good debt.
Exactly, because that property is working for you, putting money back in your pocket.
Right.
Bad debt, on the other hand, is what most of us think of as traditional debt.
Okay.
Credit cards, car loans, things that just drain our income without giving us anything back.
So using that Maui condo example,
Yes.
Kiyosaki essentially used good debt to get his foot in the real estate door and start building wealth.
Right, and this highlights a crucial difference in mindset between those who are successful with money and those who aren't.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the potential in things that most people avoid, like debt, and understanding how to use them to your advantage.
Okay, so we've got assets versus liabilities, good debt versus bad debt. It feels like we're starting to speak Kiyosaki's language a little bit.
You're catching on quickly, and that's exactly what he wants, to help people develop their financial literacy so they can play the game of money on a more level playing field.
Makes sense. It's not about handouts or shortcuts.
Right.
It's about understanding the rules so you can actually win.
Exactly. And speaking of rules,
Oh,
Kiyosaki has a lot to say about taxes.
that he does.
In fact, he dedicates a good portion of the book to exploring how the tax system works and how the wealthy use it to their advantage.
Oh.
He even brings in his own tax advisor, Tom Wheelwright, to explain some of the finer points.
So he's saying that instead of complaining about taxes, we should actually be learning how to use the system to our benefit.
That's his argument. He believes that tax laws are written in a way that actually incentivizes certain behaviors,
Interesting.
and that by understanding these incentives, we can potentially reduce our own tax burden and keep more of our hard-earned money.
So it's like a secret code that only the wealthy seem to know?
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
But Kiyosaki and Wheelwright argue that these strategies are completely legal and available to anyone who's willing to learn about them.
Okay.
They're not talking about cheating the system.
Right.
They're talking about understanding it and using it to your advantage.
This is getting really interesting, and I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here.
I think so, too.
Before we go any deeper, though,
Okay.
I want to remind everyone about lingopediamagazine.com.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
They have a fantastic selection of courses and ebooks that can really help you level up your knowledge in all sorts of areas, including finance and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're feeling inspired to take your financial education to the next level,
Definitely.
be sure to check them out.
Great resource.
And speaking of taking things to the next level,
Okay.
Kiyosaki introduces another fascinating concept called phantom income.
Phantom income.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, think of it this way.
Right.
Most of us are used to earning income through a job, trading our time for money.
Right.
But phantom income is different.
Okay.
It's income that's generated passively through assets and smart tax planning. It's like having your money work for you even while you sleep.
Wow, that sounds like the dream.
Right.
So how does this phantom income actually work?
He uses the example of McDonald's to illustrate this point.
Oh, interesting.
Now, obviously, McDonald's makes money selling burgers and fries, right?
Yeah, of course.
But Kiyosaki argues that a big part of their wealth comes from something else entirely.
What's that?
Real estate.
Oh, wow.
You mean the land and buildings that the restaurants are on?
Exactly. McDonald's owns a lot of that real estate, and they benefit from things like appreciation,
Right.
the value of the property going up over time.
Yeah.
They also use strategies like depreciation and debt amortization to reduce their tax burden and increase their profits.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. So instead of just relying on the income from selling food,
Yes,
they're leveraging their assets to generate this phantom income on the side.
precisely. And this is a key principle that the wealthy use to build wealth over the long term.
Okay.
They understand that it's not just about working hard, it's about making your money work hard for you.
That's such a powerful concept. I think we've covered a lot of ground already, but it feels like we're just getting started.
Definitely.
We'll be back to delve even deeper into Kiyosaki's insights on how the rich are getting richer.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
I'm ready.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive.
Yes.
We're digging into Robert Kiyosaki's Why the Rich Are Getting Richer and uncovering some seriously thought-provoking concepts. Before the break, we were talking about phantom income,
Right.
this idea of making money work for you even while you're not actively working.
Yeah, it's one of the cornerstones of building lasting wealth. Kiyosaki argues that the rich don't just rely on a single source of income, they create multiple streams, many of which are passive. This phantom income flows in from investments, real estate businesses, and so on.
And he uses the McDonald's real estate example to show how it's done on a grand scale, right?
Right.
It's almost like a hidden engine driving their wealth.
It is.
But how does someone without a global fast food empire start building these passive income streams?
That's where Kiyosaki's emphasis on financial education really comes into play.
Okay.
He argues that you need to understand the fundamentals of finance, things like assets, liabilities, cash flow, and leverage. Once you grasp these concepts, you can start to see opportunities that others miss.
So it's not just about working hard and saving diligently like we've always been told.
Well, Kiyosaki would say that's just part of the equation. It's about working smart, too.
Yep.
It's about understanding how money moves, how to make it multiply, and how to protect it.
Okay, so financial education is key. But where do you even start? It can feel overwhelming.
Well, Kiyosaki recommends a multi-pronged approach. He suggests reading books and articles on finance, attending seminars, and even seeking out mentors who have already achieved financial success.
So it's like building your own personalized financial curriculum. I like that.
Exactly. And one of the most important lessons he emphasizes is learning to think differently about risk.
Okay.
He argues that many people are so afraid of losing money that they avoid taking any risks at all. But the wealthy, he says, have a different perspective. They see risk as an inherent part of the game.
So it's not about avoiding risk altogether, but about managing it intelligently.
Precisely. And Kiyosaki argues that understanding the power of leverage is essential for managing risk effectively. Leverage can be a powerful tool when used wisely, but it can also be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Leverage, isn't that kind of like using borrowed money to amplify your returns?
You got it. That's one form of leverage. Think of it like a seesaw. A small amount of force on one end can move a much larger weight on the other in the financial world. Leverage can allow you to control a larger amount of assets than you could with your own capital alone.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this connects back to Kiyosaki's idea of using good debt. You can use borrowed money to acquire assets that generate income, essentially putting that leverage to work for you.
That's the idea, but it's crucial to understand that leverage cuts both ways. If the value of your assets goes down, your losses are also amplified.
So it's like a high-risk, high-reward kind of strategy. You need to know what you're doing.
Absolutely, and that's why Kiyosaki stresses the importance of financial education and developing a solid understanding of risk management.
It's about being informed,
Yeah,
doing your research, and not just jumping into things blindly. Makes sense.
yeah.
Now, remember, Kiyosaki also talks about having a plan B.
Hmm.
What exactly does he mean by that?
He believes that relying solely on a traditional job for income is a risky strategy in today's volatile economic climate. He encourages readers to develop alternative income streams, essentially creating a plan B in case their main source of income dries up.
So it's about having multiple streams of income, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And he's not just talking about side hustles or part-time jobs. He's talking about creating systems that generate income passively without requiring your constant attention. This could be through real estate investments, businesses, or other forms of passive income.
He even shares a pretty sobering example in the book, right, about a friend in Zimbabwe whose life savings were wiped out by hyperinflation.
That's right. And it's a stark reminder that relying solely on traditional systems can be risky, especially in times of economic uncertainty. Developing a plan B isn't just about getting rich, it's about ensuring your financial security and resilience.
It's about having options and being prepared for the unexpected. I like that now we've talked about the importance of financial education, understanding leverage, and having a plan B. Are there any other key takeaways from Kiyosaki's book that you think are essential for our listeners to grasp?
One that really stands out is his emphasis on the importance of mindset. He argues that our beliefs about money and wealth can either limit us or empower us. He talks about how he grew up with two different father figures. His biological father, who represented the traditional mindset of go to school, get a job, work hard, and save, and his rich dad, who taught him a different set of values about money.
So it's not just about knowledge, it's about adopting a different way of thinking about money altogether.
Exactly. Kiyosaki believes that the rich don't just think differently about money, they operate from a different set of beliefs. They're not afraid to take risks. They see opportunities where others see obstacles, and they're constantly learning and growing.
It sounds like he's saying that our beliefs about money can actually become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe that wealth is out of reach, then it probably will be.
That's a powerful insight, and Kiyosaki argues that we can change our beliefs by exposing ourselves to new ideas, challenging our assumptions, and surrounding ourselves with people who have a positive and abundant mindset.
So it's like rewiring our brains for financial success. It's about shifting our perspective from scarcity to abundance.
That's a great way to put it, and it's a process that requires ongoing effort and awareness. But Kiyosaki believes that it's well worth the effort because our beliefs about money can ultimately determine our financial destiny.
I think that's a great place to pause for a moment. We'll be back after a short break to continue exploring the key takeaways from Robert Kiyosaki's Why the Rich Are Getting Richer and how they can help you transform your financial journey. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
All right.
We're wrapping up our exploration of Robert Kiyosaki's Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. Before the break, we were discussing this powerful idea
Yeah.
that our mindset about money can either limit us
Right.
or propel us towards financial success.
It's true. It's about recognizing that our beliefs shape our reality, especially when it comes to finances. Kiyosaki argues that adopting a wealth-building mindset is crucial for breaking free from those limiting beliefs and achieving financial freedom.
It's about stepping outside our comfort zones and questioning the traditional financial advice we've been given, right?
Exactly.
Like the idea that a good job and a steady paycheck are the keys to security.
Right.
Kiyosaki seems to challenge that notion head on.
He does. He emphasizes that in today's world, relying solely on a job can leave you vulnerable
Yeah.
to economic forces beyond your control.
Right.
He encourages readers to think like entrepreneurs, to seek out opportunities and to create their own financial security.
And that ties back to the idea of having a plan B,
Yes.
developing multiple income streams. So you're not reliant on just one source.
Right.
It's about taking control of your financial destiny
Yes.
rather than leaving it to chance.
Exactly. And Kiyosaki provides some concrete steps for building that plan B, like investing in real estate, starting a business, or creating passive income streams.
He doesn't just talk about it in theory. He
Right.
shares real-life examples from his own experiences,
Yeah.
which makes it so much more relatable. I particularly love the story about how he bought his first rental property, a small condo in Maui.
Oh, yeah.
He used his credit card for the down payment,
I remember that.
which is pretty bold.
It is.
But it illustrates his point about using debt strategically
Right.
to acquire assets that generate income.
That story really highlights the difference between thinking like an employee
Yeah.
and thinking like an investor. An
Yeah.
employee might see that condo as a liability, another expense to worry about,
Yeah.
but an investor sees it as an asset, a way to create cash flow and build wealth.
And that shift in perspective is so important, isn't it?
It really is.
It's about seeing the potential in things that others might overlook.
Hmm.
Kiyosaki also talks about the importance of constantly learning
Yeah.
and expanding your financial knowledge.
Hmm.
He recommends reading books, attending seminars, and even seeking out mentors who have already achieved financial success.
He believes that financial education is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. The financial world is constantly changing, and those who are committed to lifelong learning will be the ones who thrive.
It's about staying ahead of the curve and being adaptable, especially in today's rapidly evolving economic landscape. Now, one thing that really struck me about Kiyosaki's writing
Okay.
is his emphasis on challenging the status quo.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from questioning conventional wisdom, even when it comes to things like the education system or the way we're taught to think about money.
He encourages readers to think critically, to question assumptions, and to form their own opinions based on their own research and experiences. It's about taking ownership of your financial education and not blindly accepting everything you're told.
That independent thinking is so important, especially in a world where we're bombarded with so much information, often from sources that might have their own agendas. Kiyosaki encourages us to be discerning, to dig deeper, and to ultimately make informed decisions about our own financial lives.
He challenges us to move beyond a passive approach to money, where we simply work for a paycheck and hope for the best.
Yeah,
He wants us to become active participants in our financial futures, to understand the rules of the game, and to create the lives we want.
that's a powerful message.
It
And
is.
it's one that has the potential to transform lives.
Definitely.
Why the Rich Are Getting Richer is a call to action,
Mm-hmm.
a wake-up call to anyone who's feeling stuck or frustrated with their current financial situation.
It's a book that can open your eyes to new possibilities, challenge your assumptions, and inspire you to take control of your financial destiny.
It's a reminder that financial freedom isn't just a dream reserved for the wealthy or the lucky.
Right.
It's achievable for anyone who's willing to put in the effort, educate themselves, and adopt a wealth-building mindset.
I agree.
So what does this all mean for you?
Well,
Kiyosaki's book is a blueprint for taking charge of your financial future. It encourages you to become financially literate, to think differently about money, and to develop a plan for achieving your goals.
it's a journey of self-discovery, of learning, and of empowering yourself to create the life you desire.
And remember, if you're looking for a little extra support on that journey, be sure to check out lingopediamagazine.com. They have a treasure trove of courses and ebooks that can help you level up your skills and knowledge.
Absolutely, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this deep dive, and keep diving deep into the world